Hey everybody, Day Trader Rockstar here with you. Evening, night, time, little get together. I'm not going to call it a fireside chat, but I want to talk about some important things here. And I just want to kick it off, and I want to make sure it was on, recorded because, this week has gone by. A lot of traders are doing well. Markets are doing well. It's kind of look back and see the progress we've been making. I know there's been a lot of new members on the site. Expecting great stuff, and knowing that what we know and how to trade here at Day Trading Radio, it's a journey. When a new trader comes in, and they, everyone as a trader, you're expecting, you could hit it big, you're going to be rich, it's going to be easy and stuff. They don't realize how hard it is to be a trader, and I do a lot of one-on-ones. And one of the things I like to talk about is, trying to make sure that the other person knows how hard it is to be a trader in this market. And when I say trader, I'm not just talking about an investor. You work in and stuff, and you put your money in. That's easy. Get yourself into good stocks, pull back. If you have a little knowledge of the market, you're going to do really good. You're going to understand the concepts of oversold levels, trend line supports, and it'll be very easy for you to trade in long-term positions. Is the easiest way to make money. But then we have the extreme opposite, and those who want to make money intraday, day by day, inside the market, inside the open to the close, and profiting by the movement of the movement of the stocks or options, the futures, or whatever you're trading. So that's what we call our classic day traders. I like to call them income traders. Trading for income. So I've been talking to a lot of traders, and I, of course, correspond back and forth and email to traders and stuff. So, I love getting feedback, and I always get a lot of feedback. And I'm also doing a lot of one-on-one coaching. And the biggest thing I find is, as traders, and again, it's all walks of life, all over the world. People who are retired or want to try to do this, young and old. And basically the stories are all the same. They want to make money. This is a dream of theirs. They're passionate about it. You would hope so. I mean, if this is something you want to do for a daily profession, then you better be passionate about it, because that's the thing that's going to drive you. And it's hard. And again, this is an industry of trillions of dollars. It's not going to be like anybody. Joe off the street is going to come in here and just be pick up just take the market to the bank and make money. It is difficult. It's difficult to a point where it's not. And to kind of understand, again, a little history of me. If you don't, this usually goes out to the members and stuff, but it makes its way to YouTube also. So I shouldn't introduce myself in case you don't know. I'm Day Trader Rockstar from DayTraderRadio.com, and we trade the markets every day since 2007. And I teach a divergent style trading. But it's more than that. It's based off of 20 years of trading experience and how to limit what doesn't work all the way down to what works the best. And now identifying that, the second part of it, and probably the biggest part of it, is the mental aspect of the game. Because if you know something works, why don't you just do it? Now I want to lay down some crap tonight. It's not going to sound good. I'm not trying to but unless you're the best at what you could do, unless you're the best, if you're going to be famous at something, I'm not saying being famous, but to make money in the market, you might as well be famous, because most famous people can't make money in the market. People I'm saying it's easy enough to invest, but to make money every day consistently, very, very difficult to do that. And that's because, but there is people that can do it. All right. There's people to do it, and there's a technique to do it too. And it kind of is away from what everyone believes. That's it. It's not about trying to, trade as much as you can and try to get as many profits as you can and build that up. You don't want to trade too much. You don't want to trade hardly at all. The less you trade, the less money you're going to lose. And when you do trade, it's going to be an absolutely ideal situation, which we have known over time and over years of passionate research and study and concentrating these, that we know 150%, unless there's a bad news event that comes out right at the same time, that we're going to have a great opportunity to make a lot of money if we step up to the plate at that point. We happen to be there at that point, and push the button at that point, the setups are going to come. Every time on the board right here, it's just an example. It just is what we call a little divergence here. And divergence is pretty easy to identify. I'm not going to go into a divergence course right now with you, but that's what I teach. I mean, I teach you all about the divergence in this oscillator, the stochastic oscillator, and how to use it on different time frames and what all this means. This looks as kind of just, what is this? Well, it's a lot to me. It's a lot to me because I know what each one of these bands do. And when I have a what we call a quad rotation divergence, and I know that setup works 90% of the time, probably even more. I don't want to even put a percentage on there because that sounds absolutely crazy, right? That sounds crazy. But because the divergence is so good and the quad rotations is so good, when we overlay them together, it eliminates even the weak, it has to be really set up really good, and it works. But again, this is that, that's the white buffalo. It doesn't come around all the time. And I just, look at this, I just take pictures. Every time I get one, it's just, I have a scrapbook here. Let me see if I could, this is not, so I was going the wrong way there. I'd have a scrapbook. Here they are. There we go. So again, every time I see one, I'll usually cut and paste it and mark it off because it's a great tool to have. And this is another quad rotation. It happened right in the morning hours here. Quad rotation, all four stochastics, but the top one is the 9-3. And that gave us that divergence, and it was off to the races. I don't even take the rest of. Lots of times these are the bottoms. So as you can see, these setups, they just show up. They show up, and if you're in front of them, you could take it. 1120, a nice little divergence there. And all these we're usually in front of. So now we have all these different setups that come up here to sell side divergence. We saw a few of those this week. Buy side divergence, what I call bookend divergences. Easy to find, especially if you have a downward trending channel and you have a nice divergence. It just takes off. So right now I've given you something. And I've given you even a lot more than that. Even if you can't identify it. I'm going to toot my own horn here. With the Traders Audio, the alerts I give out on the phone to the members, those things are golden because that's what I wanted to use this for. I wanted to use the Voxer alerts to really get out the high probability zones because these are worth the money. Now, maybe you're not in front of your computer at the right time. It gives you time to run over to your computer and it's set up to trade. Because I'm going to tell you when there's a quad rotation, and what a quad rotation typically turns into is our super signal. All right, so I'm always saying when a quad rotation, if there's a divergence, I'll jump on. We'll take the divergence. I'll kind of give you targets. I'll kind of give you, I'll give you the stop, and but the targets are really up to you. And because the markets move so fast, this instantaneous alert I sent over the phone works really good. Let's show you what we did today. Let's take a look back. This is called the, and again, for those out there not on Day Trading Radio, you can actually find this. Let me see if I can bring it up for a second here. Hold on. All right, so that's it. That's the Futures Trade Alert Network. Again, for those out there not members of Day Trading Radio, it comes with Day Trading Radio membership, and if you're not a member, it's pretty reasonable just for a couple more weeks. I'm going to raise the price on this. Because it is packed and it's so valuable, and this was an introductory offer. So if you happen to see this, run over. You can only get it at Patreon site. Go to patreon.com/Day Trading Radio, and you should see it there. Great, and if you go to this website here, if you go to if I click on this, it'll go to a website. It's on the main page of Day Trading Radio. It really kind of goes over what the alerts are. You could read, you could see all the alerts and what kind of alerts get sent out and stuff. I'll put the link in the video. And what's the super signal? A lot of cool stuff on this. And what's the odd? What are the parameters and what are the percentages of the alerts that go out? What type of alerts go out? I put a lot of work into this, and I really want to see it grow. It's just such a good service, so valuable. So anyway. Let me see what it looked like today. So if you actually had it, let me see what the alerts are. What do we have today? Today's Friday. So I remember if market opened up. Let me see. This is our first alert. And again, I apologize if this is something you got and you're just hearing it again, but I just want to show you an example of what I want to try to get out there. I try to really pay attention to this today to give you some good information. So this is our first one. I think it's right here.
Right, happy Friday, everyone. It's 9:45. We just had flash PMI 9:47 right now, marking the spike down to the lows of the day.
See, right here.
This is entering our first quad rotation zone of the morning. Quad rotation zone is right here, 55.23.5 area, and now it's part of the super signal. If we could get a bounce and a failure, we might just get a bounce, but this is an important level to watch. No position on this one right now, but to let you know, the quad rotation is here.
So that was a quad. It had a little bounce, and we had a pullback, and we had a divergence.
Possible divergence here at 55.46.
55.
You got to actually put your stop above 55.46. And
this was right here.
Divergence here. It hasn't turned over and qualified, but it looks very close to it.
So we took that trade here. You see the sell side divergence right there?
Quad rotation here at 55.44. And the possibility of a turnover here and a divergence, I would just put your stop at 55.46 if you do see that divergence playing out above 55.46.
Yeah, so I go over some stuff here. I don't want to play the whole thing for, but oh god. So each one of these setups that we do take, I try to get out on the phone. So that's really the key, though. And the other time we're trying to really get through the market, so we don't take bad trades. We don't overtrade, because when we do see a setup, here's a great setup in itself. I can walk you through the market really just like we did. This was a fantastic short here. Oh, let me get rid of the line. And again, this goes back to the new traders out there. How do you become successful? How do you get to the point of making consistent money, consistent income? Now, I got an email today. I want to use this as I'm not going to tell you whose email is, but someone I'm going to have lined up a session with next week. He gave me a nice email, and I was really psyched to read this, because I really want to, I want to talk to traders when they come to me and they said, all right, I got to change the type of trader I am. I'm almost there, but I'm not quite there, and I'm missing something. And I know exactly what it is on all these traders. I know it. So we really get through to a lot of traders, and it's a big turnaround. And I just read this guy's email. I kind of go through it with you fast without giving away too much, and I apologize. I won't, apologize to the person if they didn't want me to, but no one will know. John, hope you're well. I was about to sign up for yet another course, someone else's course, but I stopped just after seeing your video with Etienne, as your style just resonated with me. I was keen on Moneyball trade, but I am massively into divergences. Sad, aren't I? And I have always been looking for a course that backs up my beliefs in their strength. I see all the time in the charts on weekly, daily, hourly, 4 hours, 1 hour. Very rarely a situation where it doesn't play out. But I just can't put my belief into it. A trading strategy. It doesn't have the faith of the trading strategy. I'm either getting my stops wrong, or I'm missing some move of the divergence plays, and if it quickly changes, I'm not getting enough. He's not there in fast enough. So he goes on. He goes, I'm so close. I've been studying for 2 years, and I can see the support and resistance and Fibonacci's and divergence can really get it to work. I'm not greedy. I would just like to supplement my income with an extra $100 a week or pass a prop challenge. All right. Do you have any successful students? Apparently, he hasn't been part of the site here. So I'm actually in the middle of getting back to him, but I think that question was it was overall, it hit on a lot of things. People really believe in it, but they don't. There's something that you're not pulling the trigger. You're not pulling the trigger. You're always doubting something, and I get that sometimes too, because today there was an important level here, and we're pulling back, and we're pulling back, and I did a poll right here, and I said, are we going to break up and hold this trend line, or is this going to be a breakdown, and we're going to be a 2? And it was fight. It was back and forth. It was 1s and 2s. I had to take a 2. I actually had a 1, and I said, you know what, I'm going to change it to a 2 because I was looking at the 60-10 down here. And that 60-10 did not move. And we talked about this for a while because it was very important that we saw this upside grind here, just a little. You know, each one of these candles is 1-minute candles. We saw this upside grind here, but it really didn't do much with the 60 minutes. So by the time we got up here and we put in a little divergence on time, it was time for this thing to just roll over and collapse. Especially, and the reason that is because of the 60-10. So we know exactly, even if there is a good setup, we know when that setup is going to be weak. There's every little angle of this market. If it pulls something, we know it. I've seen it before. So we know certain things. So this was a good short. This was a great short, actually. The market came down pretty hard. But the only reason it was a great short is, look, it had a high and a lower high. It had a high and a higher high. Here's a high and a double top right here. High, much lower high. That's a divergence, double top divergence. When the stochastics are pointing down, that's a short all the way. So the shorts are there. You know, the shorts are there too. You just have to wait for them. Now, what do you do here until you wait for it? There's not much here. You're looking for a divergence. Again, you have to give yourself a good divergence. Don't try to stretch a divergence into something that's not. Remember, try to keep an angle on it. Make sure that I always say keep the first line has to be under 20. The second time, the higher high should be above the 20 line. You should at least see the dotted lines underneath it. All right? And the same thing on the sell side. It should be above the 80, and then this one should be below the 80. Just to give us that a little better angle. You could really determine that. Because if you get borderline, you could really kind of chop up, especially if they're both underneath the 20 or under 10. You just don't want to take it. And there are going to be better divergences out there. Sometimes, you remember the 44? If you ever see a 44, I'm telling you, that's when you got to lay it on the line. Now, right now, this is live right now, doing a video live. We have a try set up here, but look at the 60-10, how it's flatlined right at the 50-60 level. That means just sideways crapola. I'm not looking for any trade. Well, actually, I'm not looking for trades here because everything's closed, Johnny. See, I'm always here, so I always think the market. I've got to remember today's Friday night. Oh man, that's pretty funny. Anyway, we had a 5-minute divergence here. Now, what is the 5-minute divergence? Well, the 5-minute divergence is a 60-10, which translates to a 5-minute using a 9-3. And again, that hurts the head sometimes when you think about it, especially if you don't know much about our trading style here. So try to hang in there. Try to hang in there. But the thing I want to tell you right now, in order I'm telling you, this is an order. All right, there's 2 things you should do. Don't try to learn this with your own money. Open up a prop account and do a 25K prop account, 25K, and qualify and prove to yourself you could trade. It'll cost you $20, and you get all your trading stuff before you really start to make that investment. You want to be able to trade successfully. There's a learning curve to trading. There's a lot of mental and I would say stress, anxiety, fear, greed. You're going to deal with these emotions that you've never dealt with before, and believe me, you're going to deal with them. You're going to deal with revenge trading and stuff. You have to make yourself like a machine. You have to surround yourself. This is what I do because I know myself enough to know what I need to do to conquer my weaknesses. And for me, I had to put it into a strict criteria to force me to take it and stay within the boundaries of my criteria. And if I do that, then I'm not taking random trades. I have to take the angle. It has to be a good divergence. If I see it, I take it. I put the stop and the break even. I take the profits off on the first rotation usually. And I get out. 3 ticks or 30 ticks. Whatever the market's going to give me in that short amount of time. It's not going to be 30 ticks, but, we got some good moves. But the odds of these big moves are there, So the other important thing is not looking for the move, but looking for the setup, because when the move's happening, you're already chasing. But if you know the setup is approaching, like when I always talk about a quad rotation, I want to always put those quad rotations out to you because the quad rotation is good on its own, but a quad rotation with a divergence is unstoppable. So it's just as good, just as valuable. And here's a quad rotation, quad rotation divergence right here. Pretty much the lows of the day. They do make the lows. We could go out, overnight and see. These are all quad rotations. Now the quad rotations in themselves work great. Another great technique here, day trading radio. It keeps you out of the bad trades. If I look at someone, and sometimes I'll do this, like an exercise with a trader, and I'll show them a blank chart, and I'll say, where do you, circle where you want to be in and where you want to be out. Where you want to, ideal spot to buy, ideal spot to a lot of traders will, say, all right, I want to buy here, on the breakout. No, we know that's going to happen. Most people are going to know that's going to happen. When we talk about buying or seeing the setup before the trigger, like the channel breakout, people say, oh, we're breaking out of a channel, let's get in here. You should be getting in here. You should already know the channel's here. You already have the oversold quad rotation, and you have a trend line. The odds are this is going to start heading back up, and you're going to have the best entry. So you have to get rid of all the things that you think. And if you're, and it's hard because you're buying sometimes into a big red candle. It's very hard to capture the bottom unless you buy the fear. You'll never get the bottom unless you're buying the fear. Like, oh, it's crashing, push the button. And the next thing you know, it's heading back up, and you're sitting pretty because it's not going to come back and get you. But if you're here, in this case, you continue to move higher. But I've seen so many times when you get a breakout here. Like say here, you're buying the breakout here, and you get in here, and the next thing you know, it's pop, but it pulled back down, and lots of times it'll come back. And I might even had this here saying, watch for the pullback here. I might have been looking for that. But when it comes down to it, if you have three setups that you're looking for, and you could wait for those three setups, and you have the ability to be in front of that, or at least get the alerts. If I give you an alert and says, hey, right, we have a quad rotation, looks really good, it's coming up on that 950 reversal zone, just typically get your, get your ammo out, take out the big guns, I kind of relate the excitement of that trade to you, so you could, take it, and that's what you were here for, to take those trades. So qualify on those accounts, qualify, and slow. Do the MES, don't do the ES. The only reason I would do an ES trade is if you had a good 5-minute divergence, and you just have some other things that are lining up. You have a 1 minute and a 5 minute, and you can capture it the same, the dual time frame there. It takes a lot of preparation for that type of trade, but it definitely could be done. You just have to be thinking about it, think about it. But what I would just say, just stick with the MES, because the MES, it's almost like breaking down, it's breaking down ES into parts, and you could trade 5 or 6 or 7 MES and not even trade one ES. And it's good to do that because you want to have multiple contracts on, so you could scale out, and you could let the runners run, and you could take profits. I like to take profits into a moving average. If we have a good entry and we get up to the moving average, I usually take it off. Because this is, even though down the road it might be much higher, but I don't need to deal with this. I don't need the white knuckle trade all the way back down to where I got in it again. No, I'm just going to push the button and say, I'm done with that. Give me another. I'll wait for another. I'll go take a walk, come back in. Oh, lip divergence, or we have another quad here. Let's wait for a setup. That's how easy it is. Now, if you could do that and kind of take the market and say, now the market's working for me, I'm not working for the market. I'm just going to wait for my setups. I'm going to wait for the alerts. You're going to do fine. And you got to just take the smaller trades. Don't rush it. Don't trade after. I would advise not trading Fridays. Sometimes I hate trading Fridays. And sometimes I hate trading after 3:15. And I kind of pull back from those. I love trading overnight from 9 o'clock to like 1 o'clock in the morning, even though sometimes there's not much going on. But sometimes there is. If there's some news that's been out and the market's been kind of rocky, I like playing because the algorithms are really not going on. It's very easy to see these setups. So you have to take your when it's like the perfect storm, not the perfect storm, but chasing. It's like they're always looking for the perfect wave to surf. Sometimes it's going to be at night, when the The range is there. There's a little overnight news. It's taken, you know, the U.S. is not opened up yet, but you're getting good. You get good signals over the week, overnight, and you can really take advantage of those. So, you know, as a new trader, you're going to do fine if you don't overtrade. You're going to do fine if you limit yourself to trading only divergences. And if you're going to get better, if you say, you're going to take more than trades, I'm not going to be able to control what you do. All right. So I'm not going to be able to control. But if I were you, and you were my son or my daughter, and I was teaching you to trade for the first time, I would say, you know, wait for the quad rotation divergence. You know, just wait. You know, not stress it out. If you're going to look at maybe some flags, do a quality flag setup. Make sure it's a 2020 flag, and you know, that's about it. You know, the regular divergences, if you want to take those too, you know, they're, you know, just remember, you're taking everything. You get the divergence, you're getting out on the first rotation. You're gonna nickel and dime this, $20, $50, $100. End of the day, you want to have $100 to $300 trading 5 MESs. That's what my goal is, my average. Some days you have big days. Some days you don't have, but very rarely you're going to have a losing day or too much of a losing day unless you start over trading, because you shouldn't have a losing day. You shouldn't have that. Most of the setups will work correctly. If you can identify them on a thing, show me that they don't work. Show me, and I'll show you why you should have noticed that. All right. So if you start to find that you're taking bigger losses, you're probably over trading. And that's okay, and you can snap yourself back and say, all right, I made that, I did that, I realized what I did, I'm honest with myself. I overtraded, I tried to revenge trade, I wanted to get back to the feeling I was. Shit, I was up 500, now I'm down 300, I got to trade now my butt off. That's what you're thinking. You know, it happens to everyone. So just remember, if you put yourself in that position, you don't have to worry about it. Again, you could solve all your problems by waiting for a divergence. A good divergence on a trend line, a good divergence with a quad rotation, a good divergence on a VWAP. You know, that divergence and that combination of, you know, 1, 2, 3 patterns, especially the quad rotation. That's it right there. I mean, 2, 10, 15, another quad rotation divergence right there. And again, you could see the moves every single time. Show me one that doesn't work. I want to drop the mic right now and just let you think about this. It's up to you if you're going to be successful. Get the alerts. Don't miss them. Get in front of your computer. I told it, you know, ladies out there, I've dropped the ball on a couple one-on-one coaches, just so many. She was supposed to get a coaching segment, but we kind of missed each other. So if you're out there, ladies, I got a coaching session coming to you next. But as she said, I said, how much I said, I'm using her as an example now. Interesting, because I said, how much time do you have to invest if you want to be a day trader? And, you know, these videos should be for day traders. You know, as an investor or maybe a part-time trader, the techniques are golden. You know, because they work even better on the daily time frame. So knowing how these divergences work is great for any time frame. But the you know, if you're really interested in trading for income or day trading, you have to put together a business plan, which I originally called the business plan, that identifies your entry criteria, exit criteria. I have one for you guys. It's in the forums. All right, let me show you. All right, when you go to Day Trader Radio here, click on the members area, sign in, and up here you'll see forums. You also see playbooks where my trades are. Right now I turned off the thing because I was on the Zoom earlier. So we click on the forums, and there's just a lot up here, a lot of resources to get started. This is where all our interviews are. Just a lot of good stuff. It takes a while. It takes a long time to go through all this. But if you're going to go through it, get down to the area here. Special interviews, Trader Spotlight Lives, great shows, futures shows, option shows. And then we have a section for my if I can find it. That's why I did a side. Here it is, playbook. So the playbook has all the all my lesson plans and stuff, pre-market, popper plans, business plan for traders. It might be a video. I have a video in a video format. You know, the rules of trading. I think I have a PDF on this also. PowerPoint. That might be it. Yeah, this is a invalid file. Well, it's not going to be there. What I'll have to do is upload it to the forum there. I will do that. But that's it in the video there. The video did capture it. I just did a video format of it, walked you through the presentation live instead of like you looking just at the file. So it's actually better there. You know, I'll leave you with this. You won't find anything better than developing your discipline and patience and abiding by a certain set of rules that are going to give you the highest probability trades. That is the direct path to being successful as a trader. That is the direct path. The longer term trading I think is much easier. So if you have the option to do that, you just apply the same techniques to your daily charts, your weekly charts, you know, and use common sense. You know, stick with the leaders and buy the leaders on the pullback. And we want to do that too. You know, intraday. We are trading futures. We could apply these rules to futures. We could apply it to Bitcoin. We could apply it to stocks. Just understand trade your time frame. I mean, you're in on a 1 minute time frame. You're not looking for a whole day rally. You're looking for a move up. It's going to move down. It's going to move up. It's going to move down. Everything is defined for us. Make sure it's defined for you. All right. Hope you enjoyed this. I hope it motivates you and understand that this can be done. It just requires strict discipline, and it really requires you being in front of the trade when I announce it or you see it. You know, don't miss these trades. You know, you have a good divergence. You don't want to miss that. All right. I'll see everyone in the markets.